just done the last point in the auto leveling. Now in the start G code I ask it to raise the nozzle a little bit higher here, about 150 odd millimeters. That's just so if need be, and generally I do it anyway because I can't always see. I just give a pinch on the nozzle, on the tip of the nozzle, and pull any ooze off. So now it's going to be coming in to start this print. This is like the nut grip for the Bowden Feeding tube clamp I have. 12mm sort of thread on that. On the outside is for 4mm Bowden tube. And basically that is to go into my quick release belt drive system. A bit of ooze on there, but that should be okay. I do ask for skirts on these prints. I've only just put some fresh Elmer's glue stick on. That's this stuff, Elmer's school glue, washable, purple. I think I would have got by without putting it on. Oh, this model does have some slightly curved edges on the bottom here. Well, the direction I'm printing it in, it really has to be probably printed in this direction because the other side has a hole in with the threads. So this is to replace this nut here. This is a 12mm nut, and it's a Bowden tube sort of grip thing. As you tighten the nut down here, it grips onto the nut, Bowden tube, 4mm tube, and that's got 12mm thread basically on there, 1.75. That's what it's for anyway. This is done at 11mm actually the diameter of that. That's to your bit tolerance, and see that the Bowden tube can come all the way through. So instead of this metal nut here, I mean nothing to stop you using a metal nut, but it's going to have, well, if this works out, it's going to have this sort of printed nut instead, which is a bit more fancy, so to speak, a bit better grip I think than some other methods when you're turning it, tightening it down, etc. It will have some shapes on sort of to put a spanner on if you need to. Well, this will take about 1 hour to print, nearly enough. You see my BL touch there, that was for doing the auto leveling, auto trimming. Gets a big thumbs up. This is actually a lot, well, quite a bit more plastic than the previous print. Actually I'm printing this at 100%. I probably don't need to print this part at 100%, whereas the other part I probably did need to print at 100% to give it strength. Okay, I'm going to pause the video just now and I'll come back in about probably half an hour I think. It's 42 minutes into this print now, and this part is made a little bit, well, round and I was going to say rough, but a few flat edges so that you can grip it better, and then it will go through. It's good as a hex nut size shape on top of that. Well, this is getting printed upside down basically. Inside it will have a 12mm thread. That's the basic idea there. So I estimate it to be about, well, according by the display it's a bit less than halfway. but the display LCD 128 64 can be a bit, well, not inaccurate, but a bit sort of misleading to a certain extent, I suppose. It seems to be if you've got less to print, which this will have a little bit less to print when it starts doing a hex nut, not a lot, but a bit, then this display to a certain extent will move quicker than the time indicated, so to speak, the bar graph on the display. I'll actually show you the display just now. Turn the lights off for this, otherwise we get reflections. So here's the display and here's the bar graph I'm on about. So it's 44 minutes, but the next part might go quicker because it has less to print. 65 on the heat bed here, 235 on the nozzle, no fan turning. So this is my LCD 128 adjustable stand, very good. I can adjust this SD card, that's one print nut, SD card in the side there. I can adjust this at different angles, etc. It's sort of a ball joint there. Okay, we're going to pause the video again, probably about another half hour or so I think. Well, it finished. That was 1 hour 8 minutes, 1 hour 8 minutes to do this. And you can probably see the curved edge. This isn't like curling, it does have a curved edge on it. Well, what will to a large extent be the top. This is printed upside down. And a hex shape there, so if need be you can put a sort of spanner on it. But I would only say do that if you need to, because it is only plastic. Okay, let's get this off the bed. The bed's had time to cool down now. It's on quite firm. Took a few knocks there. Quite often it'll come off the bed quite easy. So there's the sort of top. I say it has some minor flats almost around the edge here, so you can hopefully grip it more. All for the 4mm Bowden fitting, and threads for the part basically. Now I can see something like a black hole in there when I'm looking in the camera. Let me have a closer look at that actually. Yeah, so looking at, you can probably see the black hole there. What that is actually, well no, it was printed this way up, wasn't it? I was thinking it looks almost like as if it's the well, as it's going across, as if it was printed upside down, well this way up, and we couldn't cope with that. Well, this is the same sort of model, only I've made it a bit bigger inside diameter. The previous one I did was more than even 9 than anything else, and it should be around about 10 I think on the inside of the threads. So it was too small, couldn't even get a tap into it, not really, or probably forcing it. I've also knocked down the percentage infill of this. The previous one was on 100%. This is only on 30%. That does save a bit of time, but not massive amounts I don't think. Because you've seen the previous print, this is almost exactly the same print. Well, it is the same print really, just a bit bigger on the inside threads really. So I will be chopping a great deal of this video out. I'm probably just watch the beginning here, and we'll come back when it's probably finished and see how well the sort of threads on the other part fit into it, etc, etc. Let's watch this get started. There is a bit of a curve on the part around the edges, so okay, I must be honest, I've just reamed it, well not reamed, but put a tap into this. Didn't take a lot, a little bit of cleaning out of the threads there, and now this fits on fine. Tighten it up, so that's pretty tight on there now. And I'm trying to pull on the nut, not on this part, in case because that's cheating in a way. I would possibly squeeze these together and squeeze it onto the Bowden tube, but I'm pulling hard as I can there, and that's not coming out. So I'm doing this quickly. Now I can, oops, knocking the camera a bit there, I can take it out there now. I'll just try and show you the Bowden tube and get this to focus. I think it does leave a little bit of denting in, so let's push it in. So put your thumb over the end so it comes to the end, so it's not going to like curl up. Screw the nut thing on, and there's it's quite bulky though, that's the thing about it, but if you want a good grip, I think you want something pretty sizable. Being plastic, it is, sorry about this going out of focus all the time, it is, well, quite lightweight. So if you have it, this isn't really for hot end. Generally speaking, my hot ends have I think a 6mm thread, something like that. This is a 12mm, well, for a 12mm thread. Yep, that's a good print. After the first one was a bit too small, but this one's a good fit. So that's my, well, to a certain extent easy to use Bowden fitting for 12mm. It's 175 pitch on this. This is actually about 11mm diameter there, but that will give a bit of a, you know, imagine that's your feeding mechanism. You can sort of turn it into that. Put your Bowden feeding system in, make sure it's no gaps. Put the top on, and that's in there tight. Yep, good.